Oh, I'm here. I'm here. I just realized I was rolling over a cord that I didn't want to be rolling over. Rolling, rolling, rolling. I also realized that my iced tea is making a wee bit of a mess here. So good morning. Good morning, YouTubers, TubeUbers. Wow, a lot of good stuff going on with me. A lot of good stuff. I got to remember these days. There are days and times where not a lot goes on, and then there's days and times where it feels like many things are kind of coming together at the same time. It's crazy. Good morning, Carla. Nice to see you, friend. Nice to see you. Where's my computer? Here, is this thing on? Hello. Good morning. Good morning, Carla. Look at you showing up. Look at you. Good stuff. And Rebecca and Cheryl with an S. Very cool. All sorts of good things going on. Hey, that's fun. Leslie, not to be nosy, I'm just curious, and you don't need to answer it if you don't want. Let me remind you too, if anybody asks you a question and you don't want to answer it, you do not have to answer it. But Leslie, I'm just curious because you're taking the train to NYC. What state are you going to NYC on the train from? I've driven. What am I? Choo Choo Charlie, the engineer. No, I've been on the train so I'd like to picture your little journey. But I love that you're listening. You listened in yesterday in the train to New York City, and now I'm listening on the way home, and so glad to join. I love it. Connecticut, awesome. Westport, Darien, down to the Hayden Planetarium. Wonderful, wonderful, easy peasy. Thank you, Carla. Yes, I just got my hair done yesterday, and I use not wax or spray. It's really a paste. It is a paste. It is this purple paste that I wish I could actually find another product because I don't particularly like the company. However, it's what works for my hair. So, but yeah, I just got it cut, so it's nice and sharp. And my niece graduates from college next week. I just got the picture of her. Oh my God, talk about sentimental. It was literally 4 years ago yesterday that she graduated high school. So she is on it. So I got my hair done now, so it'll grow out a wee bit, so I'll, look good when I see the fam. So no, it's not a silver jar. It's a black jar with black and with white and red. It's called Sexy with two X's, and it's the 8 hold and 2 shine. I get it at I get it wherever I can get it cheap because I use it. So anyhow, y'all, as Carla would say, let me share with you some good stuff because I like to remind you that when you think better, you do better. And sometimes you may be looking around and focusing on the negative, but I am deciding every day I make a decision to accentuate the positive because some good stuff is happening. They put one of the last coats, not the last coat, but one of the last coats of stuff on the basement floor. It's looking awesome. We have somebody coming in that's going to talk about what to do with the walls. So progress is being made there. Feeling so good about it. In a few hours, we're going to get some new porch furniture delivered because again, we're kind of doing that. We've been in the house for 20 years and we don't plan on moving. So what can we do to make it better while we're here for ideally another 20 or so years? That's coming today. Now it's coming while there's all sorts of stuff in the garage and the patio has it's not prepared, but we're going to bring it. So all sorts of good stuff is happening and I'm feeling good about it. The sun is shining in the sky. There ain't a cloud in sight, though I was wondering if it's a little hazy because of those fires they're having up in Canada. Not sure. Took a walk and got some iced tea. Very proud of myself for not getting a cookie out of the baked goods display case. Luckily, they did not have my favorite cookie. So that's some good stuff. Had a really nice text interaction with my sister and one of my nieces. That was good. Like notice the good things. I will be writing all of this stuff down in my book. And even the things that on the surface may not seem like a good thing, what can you get a good thing out of it? There's this woman who's like old school self-help. Her name is Louise. Oh, Louise, our Louise just showed up. Louise Hay, I think she is. She started to show up on my TikTok FYP. And She says one of the mantras that helps her is to calm down her nervous system. And when I say calm down the nervous system, we do all the downs. She has her way of doing it. And it's something like nothing has gone wrong here. I trust that only good things, even if it doesn't look like it on the surface, that good things will come from this situation. And so ask you, even if something isn't initially good, like for example, I had scheduled a declutter party this morning and the time didn't work out for anybody. That's okay. Notice one of the four agreements is do not take things personally. I don't take it personally. I know that if it works out, you show up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. The neat thing is I said, great, I have an extra hour and a half to 2 hours. What can I do? That's when I got to take a walk. I got to text. I got to, I shared a photo of my niece, my graduation with my friends from college or high school, junior high for crying out loud. I did a lot of good things, even though I could have decided to wallow in, oh, nobody wants to come to my party. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to, but I don't want to. Laura Voorhees says, a friend just dropped off a little gift and complimented my gardens. I love that. I got an unexpected gift in the mail from my friend who I house sat for in Palm Springs. I didn't expect a gift. To me, the gift she gave me was the opportunity to stay at her house. I didn't need payment or a gift, but she sent me this really cool kind of travel bag that says Palm Springs Airlines on it. So cool, so up my alley, and how nice of her to think of me. How lucky am I to have such good friends? There's days where things don't seem to be going right, and there are other days that, so you really need to dig for the good, and other days where it's just blooming all over. So it's one of those days for me, and I want to help maintain it. So I'm going to write that stuff down. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to continue to look for good things, and I'm going to find them. Cat Roby's in the house. Cat Roby in the his. Hey, hey, yo. My meeting was canceled. Isn't that kind of a fun feeling? I thought about that. Like I'm the eternal kid with the like the snow day when it's free time. Yep. My meeting was canceled, so this is scheduled. And surprise Beth Blinders. Whee! And notice how she's excited about it. Like the live. Check. Switch the laundry. Check. Clear the junk email. 458, haha. And then Cat 2541 email sweep. Interesting. Cat 2541. I'm Beth 2459. Nice to meet you. Very cool. Now, Leslie said, I was on this morning's TikTok live and you talked about this morning's party and it reminded me to sign up for Saturday. And I saw that. I saw that, Leslie. And that's so great because now I know with assurance that I will be showing up on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. for that party. That will also remind me to be mindful of what I eat and drink on Friday night because I want to show up quasi bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. So thank you for doing that. Notice what you did is when you committed to something, when you said, yes, I'm going to be there, that also got me kind of more settled, more trusting of, okay, yes, that is happening versus, oh, I wonder if somebody's going to show up. Now, I am good with the flexibility, so I don't mind if I show up and nobody shows up. I can easily pivot, but it is nice to look forward to. Leslie, I bet you have some stuff you're going to be thinking of between now and 8 a.m. on Saturday morning for the declutter party, saying, oh, what am I going to work on Saturday morning from 8 to 9:30 Eastern? So what a neat thing for the both of us. So thank you for taking that action, doing the thing, as I like to say, doing the thing to make that more kind of concrete in your mind and concrete in my mind. Good stuff. Louise. Louise got poison ivy. Poison ivy. Poison ivy. Late at night when you're sleeping, poison ivy comes a creeping around. La 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 la. La la. I won't sing the whole song, but you know it, right? But yay, you got stuff done. Yeah, and sometimes you're going to hurt yourself. Sometimes you're going to hurt yourself. Like we moved some things around. We're going to be moving stuff, maybe not next week. We're going to plan, we're going to organize, and then we're going to move things a little bit at a time back into the basement. But I want us both, especially me, to be mindful of, are we going to hurt ourselves inadvertently? You don't mean to hurt yourself, but sometimes you brush up against poison ivy. It's going to happen. what you're going to want to do is, you're going to need an ocean of calamine lotion. I love that rhyme. It cracks me up every time. So yeah, do you have an ocean of calamine lotion? Do you have colloidal oatmeal? I remember when I got um, a poison ivy as a kid, I had to take an oatmeal bath. Take care of yourself. Try not to go scratching, right? But good on you for doing good stuff. Melissa Garvey says my potluck dinner that was tonight got postponed to next week this morning. Just as I was going to make my dish, it's a win. Yay! I didn't make the dish, and even though it got postponed, now you have unexpected free time. Unexpected free time. Expected free time is one thing. I love that, but unexpected delights. Speaking of unexpected delights, which reminds me of Herb Alpert in the Tijuana Brass. You guys, I'm wicked excited. I unexpectedly saw that Herb Alpert added a second night of his concert in Chicago, and I got tickets for my husband and I to go on my birthday. I have been a Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass fan literally since I was probably 2 years old, with whipped cream and other delights. So I love delights, other delights, expected delights, unexpected delights, all the delights, you know? Now, I love it. So, um, Carla is saying, I had about 6 products. We were talking about hair products. I wanted to reorder. I put to the side and I kept kicking it on the floor. Finally, I sat down this morning, tried to reorder them, and some were no longer available. They are now off of the floor. Yeah. And notice the things that you like to use. Notice that sometimes there is a shelf life, a lifespan of something. I've been using a variety of products on my short hair since literally 1984. Prior to that, there was like Dippity Doo. That was the only thing. My mother used to put this viscous gray setting lotion on my hair. It's like I was a 1950s housewife, but I was really like a 7-year-old kid in the 70s because I had so much hair that was out of control. So some things you have may no longer be available. If you find something you like, you might want to be mindful of how you stock up on them, because sometimes you stock up on things and they age and they don't no longer become something you use, you know? So yes, Rise. That was the old Luke and Laura. We won't get into it, but yeah, Luke and Laura theme from General Hospital, right? Mary Coker says, I planted grass in the backyard and dug up a cluster of daffodils and planted them in the grass area before seeding. Awesome. Yeah, 'tis the season. Um, I love this. LO says, my neighbor recommended a junk hauler that she had a great experience with and was affordable. I hired him for Friday, so more progress is happening. Do not underestimate the power of a personal recommendation. That's why I always ask of my one-on-one clients if they would be willing to write what I call a testimonial for my testimonials page on my website, to encourage people who may not trust that coaching would work, to see how it worked out for them. We have gotten the good people that have been able to work on our house throughout the 20 years here really by word of mouth. I'm not kidding. We've got somebody who's going to come over and help us do a deep clean after all this. Word of mouth, trusted source. Word of mouth from a well, actually, a word of mouth from somebody that we ended up got even word of mouth from anybody. So do not underestimate how you feel when you can trust something or somebody. Trust, trust is a good feeling. You know it is when you don't have it and you miss it. I could not trust my ex-husband. There are people I know in my life that I do not trust, and so I act accordingly. I show up to be a trusted source of information and entertainment, maybe infotainment or edumation. I show up when I'm going to, so you can trust that I'm going to show up when I do. I show up without an agenda except to help you. Am I always trying to make a sale at the end of the thing? And no, I'm not. That's not who I am. Notice how you may not trust yourself to do the things that you say you want to do. So, how can we increase your trust in yourself? So, notice a trusted recommendation, trusting yourself to do the things you say you want. And if you don't do the same things you want, trusting that you're going to look in the rearview mirror and provide context and say, is that a good reason or a bad reason? How do I feel about not getting that thing done I said I was going to get yet done yesterday? Now, I pretty much know that there may be some things. Oh, I'll share this with you. There may have been some things that I didn't get done yesterday. No, I'm actually pretty good. But if I didn't, I'd get curious, not judgmental. Okay. Now, Becca Lee, let me help you with this. Oh, there we go. Cat Roby. Cat Roby, 81087. Cat 2459, Beth 245. Notice how awesome we are. Yeah, he's playing on 810 in Chicago. I don't know where you live, but that's the show we're going to be in. So I love it. Oh, I love it. Louise says she was quoting myself yesterday while Jim and I were working on abundance in the garage. Oh my God, my husband and I were in the garage moments ago. Boy, do we have an abundance of stuff. Hmm. And yeah, found myself quoting. I get it. I was, as they say, I was picking up what you were putting down. Here's a fun thing. Let me share this with you. Um, Even if you don't let me, I'm going to do it anyway. Good news. Um, okay. Oh yeah, Carla. Here, I will do a one good surface thing, and then we'll jump into the deep pool for a minute, and then we'll swim around in the various levels. Declutter parties. Declutter parties have been helping when you show up for yourself and you pay for a ticket to a declutter party. You're also helping somebody else. So I mean that because half of the ticket price for the declutter parties goes to a women's homeless shelter in my area. It was a place that I felt good that I was going to trust them with the money that you guys gave me and trusted me with your money to do something good with. Um, Last month we raised over $160 to send to them. I sent that to them. And a grand total so far of January, February, March, April, May, $1,580 sent to doing that. Can you imagine what a difference that makes? So I say to you, when you spend money on something, you can also be doing something good for somebody else. So consider it an investment. Okay. Now, I love this. LO says, instead of calling the junk hauler a junk hauler, I will think of him of an abundance reducer. Yeah, and the wonderful thing is there's abundance. You can feel abundant and you can feel an overabundance reducer, as I would say, because abundant feels good. Just right feels good. I am filled to the rim with brim. I feel good, but I'm not overflowing too much and I can't stop the flow. Um, but getting into the deeper end, let's swim into the deeper end for a moment with Carla. Let's get deep for a second, she says. Just because we trust them, we trusted people and shouldn't have, does not mean we cannot trust ourselves. Yeah. Yeah. I know for a stone cold fact that part of me trusting somebody who was not worthy of my trust and doing it for far too long had more to do with my insecurities, my not being secure, me not trusting my, you know, red flags all over the place type thing. It had more to do with me and what was going on inside of me, the fear inside of me, as much as it did the fact that they were untrustworthy. The sooner you can realize something is not working for you, declutter wise, and you can declutter an ex husband. I did it. The sooner you realize something is not working for you and that you deserve something better, the sooner you can say no thank you to that and yes and to the better. I spent far too long in my 20s living in the drama, in the fear, in the shame, and the fear, and the fear, and the fear, and the drama of, um, you know, hanging on to something that wasn't working for me. Kind of like earlier today when we did a TikTok live and somebody said, I apologize, I don't remember who it was. They were hanging on to a broken ice maker, hoping that it would decide to start working again. No, no. And I have since seen evidence of the aforementioned ex-husband who maybe has, I hope for his sake, he has changed in ways that has made him better than when we were together. But I see evidence that reminds me of, I'm so glad I did what I did. I wish I had done it sooner. I wish I had done it sooner, but sometimes we need to live through these things to learn the lesson so we do different things. Okay. Now, I love this. So notice that trust is a huge thing. Start with trusting yourself. Find a place to trust. I have a little thing. I think it was, I'll have to find it. I'll do it. I will promise. I'm going to write this down. I'll just say kitchen tile. There is an artist whose name escapes me at the moment, but I have a tile with some of her sayings on it on our oven. And it says, find a place to trust and trust it a while. And I recommend the place that you decide to trust is not external. Start trusting your inner heart, your inner head. And when they work together, good stuff happens. Now, I love this. Leslie is also noticing that when you are decluttering, it's not just about knocking down the clutter from the past, but it's asking yourself, do I want to have clutter in the present and the future? So Leslie was just in NYC. She says, interesting that I decided against a cool New York City sweatshirt and a New York City mug. Really cute, but I took a breath and asked myself some Beth questions. And she left them on the shelves. Yeah, yeah. Because you know what? I do that too. I see a lot of things that are cute. I do. I'm like, oh, that's clever. Oh, that's cute. I kind of like it. But taking a beat, taking even just a breath and saying, it can be cute, but do I need to own it? Will the novelty of that last? Or will it wear off before I even get it home? Do I need that as a souvenir of my trip? Or can I save something else as a souvenir? That's why I go back to writing down the good stuff. My souvenirs are my memories, and I'm writing them down because my memory is not so great. But my memory is helped by this tool called writing down these things. You know, it was crazy last night, and I put them away, but here I'm going to get them again. Oh, look, it's my big face. Is looking back on the same day 2 years ago, 5 years ago, and seeing where I was on my journey. Yeah, that can be cute, but as Laura Voorhees says, it doesn't need to live at my house. What I like to say is, oh, that's cute. Thank you, but no thank you. You know, and feeling okay with that decision. Now, I know the difference, and here's what I do. I will say to myself in the present, "Ooh, that's really cute." Initially, "Oh, that's fun. Oh, that's cute. I really like that." And then I will port myself out into the future. I will time travel to the future, and I will say to myself, 2 days from now, a week from now, a month from now, or a year from now, will I feel good that I bought this? Or will I feel bad that I didn't? Will I regret not buying this? Can I live without it in the future? And based on that, it helps me get some perspective on, will this give me the life I want? Do I have enough mugs at home? Yes. Do I have enough sweatshirts? Yes. Will this sweatshirt add something different to my life? A different color, a different cut, a different weight? Or will it just add to is it more of the same? Asking yourself those questions before any purchase is part of maintaining a decluttered home and lifestyle. And know what you're doing. You are getting in touch with yourself and asking yourself, I may be initially sparked on this. Ooh, that's fun. Oh, I love everything in this. Up, up, up. Shh, okay. Look at the stuff and imagine it on your body. Imagine it on your house. Imagine walking away from this store. Will you be pulled back by that thing? And this answer may be different every time. There are certain things that I looked at when I was in Palm Springs that I'm glad I bought. I literally wiped my hand on a hand towel I bought when I was there, and it's been working out ever since I got it home. I am so excited about the pair of pillows for the cushion, the patio furniture that I bought. I look forward to using them. I know that if I hadn't bought them, I'd be saying, oh man, I should have bought those in Palm Springs. So you will get better at the quality and quantity of the items that you purchase if you use the decluttering thoughts. And just as I said, I took a breath, I stepped back from the situation, and I just assessed, is this scalable? This is a decision that seems good small term. How does this scale long term? Will this work out? Will this give me the life I want in the next year? Now, I will say this to get deep. I won't get specific about details because I'm private, but I will say this. There's a situation that I have seen. I was thinking about it on my walk this morning. A family situation that it's helping people in my family not just say, this is the decision I made right now, but seeing what the long term effects of the decision is, pro and con. If I say yes to this now, what does that mean in the next week, in the next month, in the next year? If I say no to that situation, what does that mean? Examining the roots and seeing where they lead so you can decide which destination makes you feel better. So notice it's the same thought process. Is saying, much like a road trip, if I take that road, if I decide to turn my car and drive down that way, where does that lead me? What are some good things that could happen? What are some bad things that could happen? If I'm here on the road and I turn in that direction, what are some good things that could happen? What are some bad things that could happen? And using all of that info to provide context to say, what really do I want? And I will tell you, in decluttering and in personal family things, safety, peace of mind, trust, increasing your trust and decreasing your fear is really what it's all about for me anyway. And I'm thinking that feeling good, and notice where my hand is going, feeling safe in my nervous system, knowing that my mom will be safe, knowing that my niece will be safe, knowing that my sister will be safe. I want their safety. I don't want them to be worrying. And so let's talk about what decision will get closer to safety and further away from worry. I know I went deep, but I'm just saying to you, the thought process behind decluttering scales and is usable in other areas of your life. Okay? But hey, why don't we do this? I think this is fun. And I'm assuming everybody here, all 25 of you, know who I am. But on the off chance that you don't, it's about 11:28 in the morning Eastern time on June 5th. It's a Thursday. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. I am also assuming everybody, we got 27 people here. So I also am assuming that all of y'all, as Carla would say, are on the mailing list, the decluttering group mailing list. Get in on the group mailing list. DestinationDecluttered.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page, put your email address in, boom, you're on the mailing list. You're part of the group. Okay. I do TikTok lives and YouTube lives, decluttering parties, one-on-one coaching, and I burst out into song and tell random stories. How's that? Sound good? Good. So here's something I think would be fun. Remember, we were talking about collecting. What are you collecting? Collect lessons that you can learn from. Collect a set of tools that help you go through life easier. Collect good memories. Discard the bad ones. I could have evidence in that closet. Which closet am I pointing to? I used to have a box of love notes and cards from my first husband. That did not work out. It makes me sad to think that it didn't work out at a certain point, but I was happy to get rid of those. I now save just the good stuff. And I offer to you, I've got 3 books of good stuff in my own life right here. Let me do this. So here's an example. Actually, I think, yeah, that's the order. Don't you just love these? I love these colors. I love these colors. So freaking cheery. So I am going time. Oh, Carla, I love that. She says, there has not been one time I have regretted decluttering or finding this community and working with this community. Thank you. I have to share with you, in true, complete sincerity for all of you. When you say those things, that is a gift to me. That is a reminder to my soul and my body that that all of the decisions I have made that led up to me creating Destination Decluttered, showing up on TikTok, showing up on YouTube, all of the things that I am doing is leading me in a good direction because I'm getting constant reminders of you're doing good. Look at this, you're helping other people, that. So thank you, Carla, for sharing that. I feel good about it. I hope that what I'm doing is good, but when I hear that what I'm doing is good, that encourages me to continue doing this. Now, will I be declutter coaching until I'm dead? Probably not. But for now and for the foreseeable future, I love what I'm doing, so I will continue to do things. When I cannot show up wholehearted about this, I will notice that when it stops being fun and helpful, I will do something different. I will change it to make sure that it stays fun. And if it isn't fun and I cannot do it with my whole chest, as they say, I will stop doing it. Um, yeah. And Laura Voorhees says, yes, Carla, a beautiful family and community full of kind and caring people. And I would like to believe, this is one of my intros to a good thing. I would like to believe that there are more good people in the world than bad. And I would like to believe even the people that we currently label bad, a large percentage of them, not all. There are assholes and there are evil people. I know that on in all walks of life. Rich, poor, Democrat, Republican, American, somewhere else. There's assholes everywhere. But I would like to think that a number of the people who are currently acting not so good are coming from fear versus truly doing hate. But here's something fun. Again, that's me going deep, but I really want to get to something fun because I thought of this last night when I was doing a YouTube live, is giving an example of what to remember, the good things to remember. And remember, if I had my mug, no, it's not that one. Oh, but there's more tea. I'm totally making tepid tea out of my leftover tea from from breakfast. Every little bit helps, no matter how small. If you have the fleeting thought of that's not important, that good thing is not important enough, not big enough to write it down, that's your backseat driver saying that doesn't matter. I'm your co-pilot. I said it does matter. Every little bit, every little tiny flower can make a great bouquet. Okay. So I thought this would be fun to go through my stuff that I wrote down on those days. Now, this is when I very first started this. So this is not the same format. I really I was writing my own decluttering life coaching book to myself. Here's a good one. I just opened it up to a random page. Open up your good books. Open up your missalette and turn to page 22. I know the universe is with me all of the time, even when I'm afraid it's not. I'm pretty deep. But what I thought would be fun was to flip through and find today's date 4 years ago. Saturday, June 12th? Nope, close. What day is today? It's the 5th. Oh, fun. So 4 years ago this weekend, I went away. So this was 2021. 4 years ago today, I went away with some of my girlfriends. I made time, I made space in my schedule. I spent time and money on something that was important to me. So I went away. We stayed at the Roundhouse Hotel. Oh, I bought a robe. You know that pink robe that I wear when I'm out on the patio and I'm doing TikTok lives and YouTube lives? I bought that 4 years ago in Beacon, New York. I walked and did early morning yoga. Yoga. Oh my God, did you hear my Boston accent just go wacky there? Went to the Wonder Bar in the vault. Oh, this was when I went away with Suzanne. We got massages. Oh. So that was 4 years ago today. What a cool thing to remember. Yes, I have a physical souvenir. I have that robe, but even if I didn't have the robe, I could read that and think back of that. I could even just sit there and I could remember, I could create that vision in my mind and feeling in my heart of how it felt to have a massage. Now, that was one of the first massages I've ever had. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know what to do. My friend Suzanne's like, oh, you tell them this, you tell them that. Now that's on my regular schedule because I liked it so much. I'm laughing at Kelly Smith because she's like, I will forever call it yoga now. I don't need the comes back, right? So that was that year. So that was 2021. 2022, let's see where I started this one. February. Okay, so I can move forward. So notice a year passes. Look at me. This is ahead of that, but look what I wrote to myself in June of 23. Do I have an awesome life or what? Yes. Yes, I do. You know, the neat thing is, so I just dropped something. That was 2022, 23, 24, 25. I could write the same damn thing 3 years ago. I am maintaining my decluttered life. I am maintaining an awesome life. I know what to do to keep that going, to keep it floating along. You know? Oh, now Judy Dukes says it's interesting you picked 4 years ago today. 4 years ago today, I lost my best friend during her liver transplant. And I would like to say this rough day. Rough day does not have an indicator of when that is or was or will be. Judy Dukes, try this. Try this. Notice that when you feel like you're having a rough day, that can influence a whole day of life you have. Now, I am not dismissing the sadness one feels when one loses a dear friend. What I would suggest you do, notice how for maybe for the past 4 years, you have remembered that, the loss, and you felt bad about it. I'm just riffing here. I don't know, but I'm thinking you may be feeling, 4-year anniversary. How about this? Instead of today remembering how she passed, take some time today. Pick up your good book and write down good things you remember about that friend. Read those every year on this day. Add the good things you remember. Okay? So remember those good things about your friend. I lost a friend over a year ago to cancer. You guys know, because it's probably recorded on one of these lives and TikToks, that I would talk about her and get choked up. I still could easily choke myself up about it. I choose to remember the good. Here's a phrase from her. Don't be a pussy. She was a brash, awesome, tall, sassy, redheaded lady, and even cancer got her. We used to call her Big Red. She took no prisoners. She gave no Fs. And she said, don't be a pussy, just go do something, you know? And so I think about that. Remember the good things about the people. Remembering the good things about your friend is like you're being visited from her from the beyond. What would she say to you, Judy? What would your friend say to you today about using that one precious life you have on this planet that she does not have? Now, I would say that my friend Lindsay would be like, stop wallowing, stop being sad. You have life. I don't go and freaking live. Change that life, make it worth living. You have a gift I do not. Do not waste one iota of your time feeling bad. I almost said iota. Start feeling good. Embrace the life you do have. Remember me, remember the good things about me. I'm sure there's epitaphs out there that say that kind of thing. Remember me when I was full of life. Do not remember me when I was on my deathbed. Remember all the good things. Write them down. Let that make you feel better. So you go out and do something and you live in my honor. How does that sound? That sounds like a cool idea to me, but that's just me. I hope your friend would encourage you to take advantage of that. All right. And really write down those good things. Maybe what I will do, Judy Dukes, in honor of your friend, is I will take some time today and I will hang out with my friend Lindsay in my heart. I will say, what would Lindsay do here? Like you guys say, what would Beth say when I'm picking up this mug or this sweatshirt? What would Lindsay say about what I'm going to do today? Now, she was a pretty badass lady. So I try to live up to what would she do? What would Lindsay do? Yeah, you know? Exactly. Cat Roby. I owed her. I don't even know her. Waka waka. I love it. Now, Carla says, my daddy passed 20 years ago today. I woke up sad, but prayed and thanked God for allowing him to gift me such an incredible earthly daddy. I'm going to weed, eat, and edge with mother and daddy. Yeah. Now, my dad didn't die until October, but I don't wait. I have it on my calendar so I can have a moment of silence. I choose to remember the people who have passed as their best versions of themselves, even if they weren't like that on the planet all the time. I consider them enlightened angels now. And they get it. They see the big picture and they realize how hate and fear and sadness just stop us from living a true life that we love on the planet, you know? And so I hang out with them whenever they come to visit. When I smell somebody smoking a pipe, it makes me think of my dad. When I hear a song on the radio, when I look at a picture, when I saw literally somebody, I don't think she's here right now. It was funny. Shit, what's her name? Anne, who has showed up occasionally. She did a video and she was showing a picture. And in her picture, I saw something that reminded me of my dad. You know what it was? It was pheasant feathers. Seeing a pheasant feather reminds me of my dad, you know? And so notice how we can choose to dwell on that. We can accentuate the negative and feel crappy all day. That person died. You're going to die too. And I don't mean that in that ham-handed way that Republican woman did. Yes, we will all die, but how can we make our lives of value to ourselves and others while we are still here? Does it help me to make a life of value while I'm still here if I'm feeling sad? Or does it help me help myself and other people if I take inspiration from the good things that those people did do, or I imagine them encouraging me while I'm here? Okay. So Carla is doing that with her dad. She's bringing them along as she's edging the garden. I even said, I brought this into context with my family situation with something going on. And I said to my mother and my sister, this idea that I had, because I have good ideas. I said, I've run this past dad up in heaven, and I know he's looking down on us saying, yes, do that. That's a good idea. I wish I had done more of that when I was here, and I just didn't because of who I was when I was in my earthly body. But now I am released from my earthly body. I get it now. I see where I could have done better. So I say to you now, do better than I did when I was on the planet. And that helps encourage me. And I shared that idea with my mom and my sisters, and they both said, yep, we agree. Dad would think that's a good idea. So learn from your ancestors. You've already learned the bad stuff. How about try to learn some of the good stuff? Okay. Now, Laura Voorhees says, I feel and say the same things to myself about my daddy. I was adopted, as was Carla. I think she's mentioned that. I don't think I'm, telling tales out of school. I was adopted, and I thank him in heaven for choosing to be my daddy. Yeah, I know people who are adopted have an extra set of thoughts and feelings about safety and love and concern. So notice where you came from. Notice what you tell yourself about what it means to be adopted. Are you telling yourself bad stories that somebody didn't love you? Maybe that person, kind of like God, gave up their only child to have a better life. They know that, there's all sorts of words you can use in your head to make you feel a certain way. Choose your words wisely. If you don't like how those words make you feel, choose some other words and write those ones down so you remember them, right? Good stuff. Good stuff, people. What am I doing right here? I'm just checking. I also am learning from the previous generations. I have learned certain ways of communicating. And then I saw my sister communicate to my niece, and she literally said, I am so proud of you. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm proud of you too. But I guess I didn't phrase it that way. I wasn't obvious about it. So I quickly corrected myself. I texted my niece and I said, I'm proud of you too. I just may not have worded it that way, but just so you know, I'm going to realize that. I wish I had said that, and I'm going to do better now. Okay. Leslie M says, I'm an adoptive parent, and I thank the heavens every day for my children. Notice that. Now, I'm not a parent. Never wanted to be, never was. Thank you, whoever made that an easy decision. However, I love my role as an auntie. I love my role as somebody who has some distance from that parental situation, and I can still offer encouragement and pride and advice and support and all of those things from where I am living my life. I love the fact that I have grown up in a time where it was easy for me to make that decision and not fall into prey about other things that other generations of women felt more forced into, that they felt they didn't have a choice, you know? So notice decluttering can get deep. So that's okay. You can swim, you can tread water. Your head is above water in the deep end. But sometimes not being able to feel the bottom can feel a little bit exhausting. So let's paddle over to where your toe can hit and your toe can give you some support. Okay, my foot is on the bottom. I'm still in the water, but I can stand and I can breathe in this pool. So I ask you, we got deep. We're getting a little bit more into the shallow end. We can splash around in the baby pool part of it if we want. But let me ask you, we've got 14 minutes together right now. Um, how can I help you with your decluttering? Now, I know when we do these deep things, there's a lot of stuff there. Maybe I will give you a minute to reflect on what we just talked about, and a minute to write down some of these things that have inspired you, have gotten your wheels turning in your own brain. Now, this is actually going to be a good excuse. This is a good kind of real time experiment when your brain says to yourself, when your backseat driver offers the classic phrase, I don't have time to declutter. I don't have enough time to declutter. Notice how long a minute can be. You think you don't have time? A minute can make a difference. Okay. So I'm going to do this for us. We're going to try out the minute. We are going to put a timer on for a minute. I'm going to be quiet. I will not say a word. I will write down some things. You will write down some things, or even you will just sit for a minute and quiet down and chunk down. Okay. Let's experiment and notice how long a minute can be. Isn't it interesting how long a minute can feel? So I offer that to you using a timer, reminding your brain that does not tell time well at all, that its perception of time is can be different than what happens in reality. If when I set that timer for a minute, you wrote down some things, that's good. If when I started that timer, you decluttered some things, good stuff. Yeah. Ooh, I love this. I love this. Laura Voorhees says, learning that I can declutter mean things said to me. Yes. Replace it with a better thought. Yes. Yeah. What assholes your parents can be. Do not underestimate. Your parents are just humans on the planet trying to figure out stuff. And how unnice of this. Laura Voorhees' parents said to me, I was so ugly as a baby that all the clocks in the house stopped. Now, why the F would you ever say that to somebody? Just kidding. No, no, that's not cool. I am going to replace it with, you cannot undo that they said that. Here, I'm missing my thing here. But she's going to replace it with a better thought. I may have been an ugly baby, but I've grown up into a pretty, loving, and caring person. Notice, I put a comma in there. Instead of I'm pretty loving, I'm pretty, loving, and caring. Yeah, and have you ever seen that ugly duckling into the beautiful swan? And here's the thing, even if you are not societally attractive, it doesn't matter. If you have a good heart, people will see that. And if they don't, then they're just superficial. They are only seeing what's on the surface. They have no idea what's going on the inside. So notice how words can make you feel. That old saying of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt. Names can never hurt me. Names can hurt. Words can cut. Words can, words are powerful. So use them wisely. Wield the power of your words wisely. But you can put up your traffic cop hand and tell that recording of your parents saying that to shut the fuck up, to turn it down. Even when it starts, I was so what? Nope, we're not even, nope, we're not even going to do that. We're shutting you down right now. We are shutting you down, and we are going to erase that. Every time you shut it down and divert and you replace it, the better thing goes stronger, and the other one, it may never fade away. There always may be like a little shadow of it, but hopefully the shadow of it is distant and gray and way back then, and it doesn't have the same feeling. Oh my God, I look at pictures of myself as a kid. I look at pictures of myself now. I am not attractive. I am not conventionally attractive. I am not blonde. I wear glasses. I'm left-handed. I have short hair. I don't wear makeup. All those things. I don't care. I don't care. But for a while there, I did. I wanted to fit in. I wanted people to say to me, you have value, you're pretty, we like you. Now I know it's so much more about what's inside, and especially where we have no control over how we are, especially now, menopause, losing the elasticity of whatever skin I have, you know. So notice the words you use. Yeah. So notice this. And oh, funny. So this is funny. I just was catching up. Penny Meyer says, listening now, but sometimes when I pop on and you are silent, I'm confused. Know that my silence is intentional. Pausing for effect. Because if I just keep on going, ba, 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 you're only listening to me. You don't give yourself an opportunity to listen to yourself. Yeah, Leslie is sending, Laura, I'm sorry you had that experience. Yes. Barb Wills Dean says, love your concept of replacing mean words. I need that in a few instances. Okay, Barb Wills Dean, grab a piece of paper, fold a paper in half. What are those few instances? What are those things that you say to yourself that sting? How can you replace it so it doesn't sting and you stop saying it to yourself? I love it. Melissa Garvey. Yeah, that one helps me. Your statement is that I'm closer than I ever have been is my North Star. That helps me too. So I'm glad what helped me, it helped you. I'm glad to share it. Yeah. Yep. Sending good vibes. Yep. Now notice the things that happened to us in decades prior still can sting. I know my 80-year-old, 84-year-old mother still carries in her nervous system the feeling of being poor, growing up without heat, growing up without a lot of clothes. You can choose to bring those things into the future with you. You can choose to do something different and fade them out and replace them with something better. That's called evolution. Okay? So, yes. Now, I love this. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. And thank you everybody for the good things that are happening in the comments. I won't read them all, but I hope you're all reading them. Um, because really, think of the words that hurt you. Write them down, get them out of you, throw them up, get out that poison. Words can be poisonous because they affect what you do. Write down your poisonous words, throw them up, and then practice. What's the antidote? What's the opposite? What's the replacement word? That's why we talk about fear and then love. We talk about hard and easy, ugly and beautiful. I don't know. I am beautiful no matter what they say, right? I'd say Christina Aguilera, but I know somebody else wrote the song. What words can you use that just make you feel better to help you go through a day in your life where you're feeling good? Because when you feel good or you feel better, you're going to do better, you know? So notice we all carry words in ourselves that hurt us, but they didn't come from us. They came from other sources. When you notice that distinction, you are reminded of the fact that they're not who you are. Your co-pilot, your co-pilot voice loves you with the intensity and patience of 1,000 suns. I'm not religious, but I can imagine that it's like if you're religious, it's the way you may think God or Jesus or Buddha or Fred or Eric or whatever their names are, Barbara, whatever that feeling is of complete, pure, unadulterated, clean, supportive, consistent love, that you have in you. That's your soul. That's your co pilot. It is in you all the time. But we are carrying around, maybe inadvertently and unaware, the words of other people, and it's causing us to, you know, lay it to the side. Imagine it like a sack of words that you're carrying around, and it's heavy and it's making you be a little bit lopsided. But you've been carrying it around for so long, you don't even realize you're walking lopsided. You don't even realize you're carrying it around. Wait a minute. I have a sack of, I almost said a sack of worms, a sack of words. What are they? Why am I carrying these around? Let me open up this bag. Oh, look, it's a sentence. You were ugly as a baby. Who the fuck says that? Who actually says that? I don't want to carry this around anymore. Throw it away, and I'm going to replace it. I'm going to replace it with something that doesn't weigh me down, but it lights me up. Because if you just throw away something and you don't replace it, that can sneak back because you've left an empty space where that can sneak back in. But if you say, no, 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 this is what we carry around now. I'm beautiful. I am beautiful. I was beautiful as a baby. You were just a jerk and told me that I wasn't, asshole. But I am beautiful, no matter what they say. So therefore, you have one less phrase in your heavy sack of unhelpful sayings. What's another one in there? Oh, you can't do that. You're too old. Who says? Now, notice you may believe these things and you may act accordingly. What's something you've said to yourself that you cannot do because it's too late? You can't do that. It's too late. You're too old. You can't do that. Are you carrying that around with you in your sack? Pull it out and examine it. Is it true? Now, it's too late for me to have kids, so that's true physically, but I never wanted them anyway. Where is that just not true? Okay? If that's not true, throw it away and replace it with a better thought. Now is the perfect time. There has never been a better time in my life to start whatever it is I want to start. I have the knowledge, I have the wisdom, I have the resources. I have learned what it feels like to do the crappy thing, and I'm tired of feeling crappy and I want to feel better. I'm tired of feeling jealous of all those people traveling and me staying home. I'm tired of this. I want to do that. Now is the perfect time. I am telling you, practice what I preach. Practice this and notice the change in your life. I have practiced this for 5 years. So this has become more of my mother tongue, as they would say. Practice this. Notice the difference of when you talk to yourself crappy and how it feels. Notice when you decide to throw away that sentence and replace it with a better one, and you practice that sentence and how that feels different and better. And who the F doesn't want to feel better? Okay. Yeah. Now look at what a cool group of people we have. But this cool group of people, it's noontime. It's noontime where I am at maybe 11 where you are. I got some cool stuff I want to make happen today. I know you do too. So much like Mr. Rogers will be putting on his shoes again and going outside, I'm going to take off. But tomorrow, Friday, we have a TikTok live. We have a YouTube live. Saturday, we've got a declutter party. Sunday, check me out. You know what I did? I scheduled a TikTok live and a YouTube live. I want you to practice knowing when these are by getting a path between when is that happening and getting to the secret page. Write down the ones you can attend to. Plan on showing up. Bring your success stories to encourage and bring the things you're struggling with so we can help you with what you're struggling with. Okay? Yes, games are fun. Community and games is even better. Rock on, my friends. Okay, I'm going to go play and have fun and create a house and do good stuff. I cannot wait to tell you about it tomorrow, and I want to hear your good stuff too. All right? Enjoy this beautiful day, and you are all beautiful, no matter what anybody else says. All right? Bye.